Young Drunk!
Hey, welcome to the Micheaux Mission. 2 men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Len, aka the Bat Triple. And as always, I am joined by my partner.
Hey, this is Vincent Williams.
We are in the summer of comics, missionaries, and that means that tonight we have a very special comic book artist guest presenting a movie for our review. And this guest is not a guest to you, missionaries, because he's been here before.
Been here before.
A long time missionary. Shows up in the chat with you every once in a while when he can lift his head from his drawing board. From New York City, our good friend. He's drawn for DC. He's drawn for Marvel. He's drawn independent. He's big time. Trust me, he's big time. You don't want to mess with him because he's not a man to mess with. There have actually been terrorists who have had their knees shaking in his presence. He is our friend, and now he is yours. Put your hands together for N. Stephen Harris. What's up, Steve?
Hey, what's going on,
Hey,
Stephen?
what's up, guys? How you doing?
Good. Thank you
It's
for
great to be
joining
here.
us.
Thank you for having me.
Amen. Thank you. And Stephen Harris is going to be with us tonight, missionaries, as we review for the first time on YouTube from 2015, the coming-of-age film Dope,
Yes.
starring Shamik Moore, Kiersey Clements, Tony Revolori, in a film by Rick Famuyiwa.
We'll go with Famuyiwa. Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, Rick. Don't at me. Because we love the films.
Yeah.
We love the films.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually have a actual virtual receipt to prove that. But we're going to get into that tonight here on The Mission as we stream live from Young Junk, Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace, to all points north, south, east, and west, but especially YouTube, where each and every one of you are out there in the chat. Hello, missionaries.
Good evening, one and all.
Well, Steve, Vincent,
Yes.
It is another night here on The Mission where we come before the missionaries with a heavy heart.
Yeah.
As we come together to pay our respects to the late, great Sly Stone,
Oh, yeah.
American musician, songwriter, record producer, the frontman of Sly and the Family Stone, who passed away just yesterday,
Yeah.
June 9th, 2025. Sly Stone, who is known for pioneering the fusion of soul, rock, psychedelic, gospel. Many people say he was an inspiration, and he undoubtedly was an inspiration for Prince, for George Clinton, for hip hop. Everyday People is one of the classic songs from 1968 that still resonates on radio today. He is a man who did fall victim to his demons of drugs at one time in his life, but he and it took him down a dark path, but it did not erase the legacy and the mark that he made on American music. And I know, Vincent, that you, being a huge music head just in general, have to be a huge fan of Sly and the Family Stone.
I mean, I am. Of course. Like you said, this is someone who was part of the fabric of arguably the most fertile period in music. Like, you want to say soul music, but just that moment in the 60s and the 70s, and, you know, all of his contemporaries, whether we're talking about Stevie Wonder or Donny Hathaway or, you know, hell, David Bowie and the Beach Boys, and, you know, everyone making this amazing music that he did. And the only thing that I will add to all of the accolades that people have given him justifiably, I know myself when I would think about Sly Stone, it would be during that kind of period up until like, 73, 74. And people talk about, when the Family Stone really kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
And he has a couple of albums after
That he put out solo.
That he
right?
put out basically solo. But I have to say, since that documentary came out last year, an album I've really been rediscovering is Fresh, which for Sly and the Family Stone, quote unquote scholars, they kind of see this as the work that came after the golden age. There's a riot going on and everyday people and all that. But his use of electronic drums and the stripped down sound, I've been low-key obsessed with this album for, I guess the documentary came out, last year?
I think it was last year. That was the documentary that Questlove did. Right?
This album, Fresh, has been on my personal turntable since then, which I think is a testament to just how fertile his output was, that even his quote-unquote lesser works, there's so much there where, a lot of the people I like are arguably just catching up with him. But I just hope that brother's at peace. Like you said, he struggled with demons and a lot of different demons. I know we all kind of go straight to the drugs, but I feel like he had a lot of challenges. I just hope he's at peace, and I feel for his family, particularly his children, who kind of went through a lot of those struggles with him.
Yeah, the documentary you were mentioning was Sly Lives, aka The Burden of Black Jesus. Genius, excuse me, Black Genius, Black Genius. The life and legacy of Sly and the Family Stone, telling the story behind the rise, reign, and fade out of one of the pop music's influential artists. It actually is available, it looks like here, if you want to check it out, Missionaries on Hulu. Steve, were you a fan of Sly Stone? We can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Steve.
There you go. Okay, I'm familiar with Sly Stone, of course, but I'm not up on a lot of music but I mean I'm more familiar with the old stuff, which is he's older stuff.
Yeah, see, you were about to say I'll quote you. You were about to say I'm not up on current music, and then you realize, well, he ain't current. So what?
But yeah, I know Sly and the Family Stone. I know of them, and I've heard them before. But I just looked up what you were talking about on YouTube, so I'll probably listen to it after the show.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
in for a good time.
Bad man.
I know. I don't know all of his songs, but I know the popular ones, like the ones you mentioned, and maybe some other.
But you know what? That's kind of like how it is, man. Especially with artists that are so creative, such as he. There are those songs that rise to the top, bubble to the top. But then when you really go and just check out like the B side of all this stuff, or really just dig into listen to the whole album, just let it play. That's when you actually see how they're crafting the music and putting together and the layering that's done with how one track, perfectly marries with the track that's coming after it.
Look, I don't want to be old man waves his fist at the sky, but yeah, look, the singles are what plays on the radio, but like you said, these artists created entire albums. So it's a full meal.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Remember instrumental versions?
Remember who?
Instrumental versions and acapella.
Right. Exactly. So
yeah, that's very true.
Go listen to some Sly and the Family Stone, folks. Not just the greatest hits.
And I will say this: he died in his 80s, right?
82.
Yeah, because he's one of the, I don't know about few, but maybe a few that made it out. I mean, got to live past 50, past 40. Because a lot of them don't.
And considering the hard life that he lived,
exactly.
Whether the artists are black and white, because David Bowie, he died in his 60s. So I don't know if it's suddenly, but he did. Some people died younger. I mean, he lived a full life. Whether it was, I know it was challenging, but I mean, who else? Who did make it out? Gil Scott Heron, he was like in his 60s when he passed away.
Yeah.
In his 60s, yeah.
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 I mean, so many people died. They have a club for the 27 Club.
That's right.
So,
because that's Jimi Hendrix.
I mean, that's Hendrix.
Is it
that's
Janis
Jim
Joplin?
Morrison.
Yeah.
That's Janis Joplin. That's Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So Hendrix is 27?
Kurt Cobain. Yeah, the 27
They were all
Club.
27.
They were all 27.
Yeah. How old are you, Steve? Never mind. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. We don't want to put it out there in the universe. We don't put it out there in the universe.
I am a couple years younger than both of y'all, I think.
Right. So a young man.
There you go. That's all we need to know.
Right.
That's all we need to know. Hey, Steve, like you are genuine, genuinely one of our favorite comic book artists. And we thank you for joining us here on The Mission. But if people want to check you out, what works do you have going on right now? I know you've got the true fiction books that you're working on.
Yeah. I don't think I can talk about what I'm doing right now, but with the books I have.
Whoa. What is it with you, Missionary? Something taking you behind the curtains. Steve is like one of Steve's best friends, Vincent, is Eric Battle, our guest from last week.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if missionaries remember when Eric was on here, he couldn't really talk about all the things that he had going on.
Of course.
Because everything was like a secret project.
Sure.
And then that's just how Eric does. Now here comes Steve.
Uh-huh.
And I give him a softball. Like, hey, aren't you working on the true fiction books? Which we know he's working on, of which there are books out. And the first words out of his mouth, well, I can't really talk about what I'm working on. Just go with the true fiction.
That's what I'm talking about.
He can't. He actually told us that it's a series of books, correct?
Yeah.
You have done some in the past.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about those.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Not the ones I'm doing currently.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. I am going to talk about the ones, as I was leading into, I'm going to talk about the ones I've done before.
Okay, please do.
Please do.
There's three of them. The first one was Jude's War, right? So overview. True fiction is a series of books that go into history and talk about real historical events using fictional people to tell a more personalized story within that event time period.
Okay.
So, for instance, I did a story with called Jude's War about a young man coming back from World War II, dealing with PTSD, the Jim Crow South, and the beginnings of the Civil Rights Movement. And so we walk through instances as a short, and they do this I had to draw this within this was 9 pages, but generally speaking, a 10-page format.
Okay.
So I'm going through his life, coming back from dealing with like flashbacks of World War II, him working down south, witnessing lynchings, and then coming across some people who were part of the beginning of the Civil Rights Movement. So I told the story of that in 10 pages. And the next one I did was a couple years later, a book called Cecil's Brother.
Mm-hmm.
Which deals with a black woman passing for white, whose brother was lynched when he was young, and so what she does, she works with the NAACP, goes into white neighborhoods during the anti-lynching movement period, and in the early 1920s, 19-teens, and she goes into white neighborhoods looking for lynching paraphernalia. And lynching paraphernalia is not just pictures or trinkets, it's pictures of dead bodies being burned, hung, and body parts of the victims that were burned, hung, or whatever method they used to kill this person, the person they lynched. So she has to go in there, and in this particular story, there's a woman that she goes to the house, and I think she's uncomfortable with this box she's found, I think. And then she gives it to the main character, Cecile, and Cecile brings these paraphernalia to the NAACP, and this helps with their investigation in lynchings.
Okay.
And the third one I did, it's called Edward and Louise's Journey, which is about a couple going from, this is during the Great Migration period. So they're leaving the South, going to the North, and it depicts their journey while they're on a segregated train. Now I knew about segregated trains and we're in them, and they are behind the engine, so you get all the soot there. But I didn't know that they were in the car with livestock as well, and they have no overhead luggage rack, so they had to hold the luggage in their laps as well. So there is overcrowded conditions with other people and livestock in a car behind the engine.
Wow.
And so it tells the journey why they left the South, which was Alabama, and they go to Chicago, and tells them leaving one community and finding another community from Alabama to Chicago.
Okay. Okay. And you're currently working on newer books in the series, but those people can check out at True Fiction, which is FIKTION. So True Fiction. Look that up on wherever good books are sold. You can check them out. I'm curious, Steve, how do you choose the projects that you work on? Do you look for a certain aesthetic or a certain type of story that you want to draw?
No, it's usually people coming to me asking if I want to do this project, and I say, yeah, I mean, I could do it if it fits in my timeline and if their budget meets my rate. I usually say yes, and usually the people who contact me have seen my work before and usually follows a line of what I've done before. Okay. So lately I've been doing a lot of people people are drawing me because of how I draw people. I have people say I have a mix of I can draw real life and superhero stuff at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so yes. They'll say okay, we want you because you could draw. You're good at drawing likenesses or that look like real people, and at the same time you could be very dynamic at the same time. So I could get something like True Fiction, something like other stories are written. I mean, not written, drawn with actual people we've seen before and capture likenesses. So I'll get stuff from people who may have a grant for a society that are doing some historical. I just did something. I just did a 10-pager for somebody for a guy in Staten Island who wants to do a book about his community, but it happened in the early part of the 19th century where there was a housing discrimination, and where this couple was fighting housing discrimination in Staten Island, and so I did 10 pages of a larger story, and we're looking for a publisher for that. So so people get to me from word of mouth as they see my stuff online and they want to contact me, see what my rate is, if I can work within their budget. Dope. And that's how it works. I also promote myself too a little bit, but lately it's been people finding me as I wrap up other projects. People know I do shows, so people know my face, know my work from doing shows, whether it's New York Comic Con, Back, or East Coast Black Age Comic Convention, or Schaumburg, or
right. You're gonna be at the Schaumburg this weekend, right?
That's right. Yeah, June 14th, this Saturday, Schaumburg, Harlem, New York, Black Comic Festival.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic.
So check him out there, Schaumburg in New York. And Steve is actually, when he says it, he's selling himself short as far as being good at taking people's likenesses and marrying them with a superhero aesthetic. Dylan, do you see we've got a picture we're going to throw up here that back when my Black Tribble days, Steve did a picture of the Black Tribbles.
Okay.
And the Black Tribbles, we all had our tribble names, basically showing how we got down. So I was got a Batman look, and when Kennedy has a Storm look, Randy has a Superman look, we all got that. And he did this fly picture. I don't know if it's up now for people to see. Yeah, it's the real dope picture that Steve, and we didn't ask him to do it. He just did it as a gift to all of us.
Fantastic.
It's really dope.
Because y'all helped out with the Watson and Holmes.
Oh yeah, getting the Watson and Holmes book out there.
I wanted to give a thank you for helping us with that.
Man, that was our pleasure. It was real dope. There's a picture for.
Oh yeah, that is dope.
So Vincent can see it inside. It's it was really fly. I still keep that as a treasured picture. Here at Black Tribbles HQ.
Sure.
So thank you for that, Steven. And thank you for joining us tonight, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. I remember Kenny was like, "Don't make me look crazy, Steve." I said, "Don't worry."
You did not make her look crazy. She looked like the superhero that she is.
Exactly.
Most definitely. All right.
All right.
Let's hear from each and every one of you, missionaries. That means your emails, or as we like to call them,
missives from the missionaries. So what else is going on, Lynn?
We have emails, Vincent.
Ooh, missives from the missionaries. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, missives from the missionaries.
Missives from the missionaries, Vincent, Steve, we got an email from Michael Sykes.
Hey, what's up, Michael?
Hello, Len, Vincent, and missionaries. I've rewatched your review on The Help. And all I've got to say is maids and butlers got voices too, but this movie did it wrong. Don't get me wrong. Domestic workers have voices and worked hard to send their kids to college to provide a better future for them. And believe it or not, they did play a little role in the civil rights movement, like one early example being Dorothy Bolden, who founded the National Domestic Workers Union of America in 1968 in Atlanta. She worked closely with civil rights leaders, including Martin Luther King, and many domestic workers supported and participated in civil rights marches, boycotts, and voter registration drives. What really pissed me the F off, excuse my language,
okay,
but seriously, what made my blood boil was Viola Davis's character saying to that little white girl,
"You is smart, you is kind, you is important."
Are you kidding me? Like, really? Out of all the people in that movie, that's who gets that affirmation? Mm-hmm. Not one single black character, not a child, not a woman, not even a damn flashback to her own family gets to hear those words. No black kid is told they're kind, smart, important, beautiful. Instead, we get this tender, loving moment reserved for a white child as if she's the one whose self-esteem is most in danger. It's like the movie's bent over backwards to center white fragility, even while pretending to be about black women. That line could have been a powerful moment between two black characters, a mother and son, a woman and a niece, anything. But no, it's always about comforting whiteness, while black kids are left invisible, unheard, unworthy of those same affirmation. And that's the problem. It subtly reinforces that we're not kind, that we're not smart, that we're not important. And that's effing enraging. No wonder why the author of this book, Nanny, sued her in real life and won. As Donny Hathaway's little ghetto boy plays softly in the background, listening to you speak, Vincent, felt like a cool glass of lemonade on a hot summer day. There was something comforting, grounding, and even healing in your words. It was like hearing a big brother reassure his little brother saying, everything's going to be all right. I've got you. Your rant wasn't just noise. It was clarity. It was truth spoken with love and fire. And it didn't just wake me up. It woke up the rest of us too. The missionaries felt it. You said what needed to be said, and in doing so, you gave us something powerful, the strength to keep questioning, keep feeling, and keep pushing. Thank you for that. This will be my last time mentioning it. I had to get it off my chest. As always, stay true, stay real, and stay black. Right on, brothers. Love your fan, Michael Sykes.
Thank you, Michael. I'm also able to connect pretty much any actor to Derville Martin in 6 Moves or Less. So I've got that going for me, too.
You've got it all.
I've also got that going for me.
You have all the bases covered.
There you go.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Michael.
We've got one more email that we've got time to get to tonight.
Okay.
And this email comes from a new emailer.
Oh.
Damon Williams.
Oh, no. Not this guy.
Yes. Damon Williams, who I believe you may have some relation with.
Yeah. I shared a room with him for 15 years. No. I'm exaggerating. 13 years.
13 years.
13 years.
Oh, and then they had to break y'all up.
Right. I said, I got to get a college education to get away from you.
Oh, so it wasn't even that y'all broke up because y'all were younger. No, it was college.
Right, I went to college.
College came between you.
Right.
Damn education.
I know.
Y'all still be together today.
Right.
Peace and blessings, Len and Vincent. There's been a lot of debate between the two of you about what makes a movie black. I'm sure we'd all agree that if a film has a black director and lead actor, that it's automatically a black film. But then there's Antoine Fuqua. I don't know how he does it, but he seems to extract every bit of blackness from his movies. Even when he has Denzel not once but 4 times, it felt like any white man could have played those roles. Yes, there's the famous "my nigga" line from Training Day, but the character was so ridiculous he was almost too black. The classic Monte Carlo with switches, 2 chrome pistols, it was too much. The Equalizer was the opposite. Denzel's grumpy, violent ex-secret agent or whatever he was could have easily been an old white guy. What do you guys think? Is there a more whitewashed director than Antoine Fuqua?
Oh, wow.
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 I like Antoine Fuqua. What is all that?
David coming in hot.
I was about to say, what is that?
I think we both got hit by a stray.
My goodness, who peed in your cornflakes? I reject this entire premise.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
So we've got Training Day, we've got The Equalizer. What are the other two?
The other two, Denzel, Anton.
Did he direct the sequel to The Equalizer?
Maybe he did. Let's see. Let's look at
the Book of Eli as well.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, he did the Book of Eli. So if he also did Equalizer 2, then that would be the 4 films. But let me just check. I'm looking at his filmography now. So he did Training Day. He does the Equalizer 2. And I'm not showing him here as the Book of Eli. I'm not showing that he did the Book of Eli. Magnificent Seven.
Okay. I've never actually seen the Magnificent Seven. I think Alonzo has to be black.
Yeah, I think
Alonzo has to be black.
Yeah. I get what he's saying about maybe like the overtopness of it.
I think it adds a layer of complexity to this corrupt policeman being black. Mm-hmm. And Alonzo sort of, kind of towing that line between the ends justify the means and him just being completely corrupt, which we've talked about.
Right.
Likewise, I think the
Equalizer.
I think him being black in The Equalizer works in a lot of different ways too. Just the black ex-government agent, I think by definition, is layered. Like this sort of I work for the government, I work for the establishment, and I'm black. And then I think the thing that I really like about The Equalizer, and I've only seen the first one, is how he kind of slips into I'm an old black man that people don't pay attention to. Mm-hmm. And then I turn into The Equalizer that I feel like we've seen versions of that with a white one that would have seemed, it would seem derivative.
Yeah, I guess I hear what you're saying, whereas his blackness adds a layer to it.
Yeah.
I don't think I think that is a layer that is just brought on by him being black. I don't think it is necessarily in the script.
Okay.
So I think, to your brother's point, I think you could sub out another actor in there,
but it's just taken. Like now, it's just taken.
Okay, but it's different because it's Denzel, and yes, because he's black, but also because he's Denzel. He's just it works in a different mode, a different speed, because it's just because of how he gets down, right? I think that's the same thing in regards to the Magnificent Seven, where I don't think that character has to be necessarily a black character, because I think he more or less is playing. He basically is playing the role the same way that Yul Brynner did in the original.
Sure.
In that, so
the irony is that Yul Brynner oftentimes reads black in the 60s.
He reads other.
Right, other.
reads other.
Which in the 60s is black, basically.
True.
Right, I see what you're saying.
True.
Like
But-
he's
but-
a stand-in for black.
Right.
Yeah.
But to that point, in the Magnificent Seven, Yul Brynner, he definitely presents as other because he just can't help it.
Right.
But he's not received as other.
No. I'm saying he pops
Okay.
because of that otherness.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, Robert Redford, and that's not a
One
perfect
for one.
fit.
But I know what you're saying.
You know, it feels you don't get that pop that you get with Yul Brynner.
Right. And you wouldn't get the same thing if you put a white person in
Like
the
he pops
Equalizer
so
role.
much they put him in Westworld.
Westworld.
Yeah.
Right. Basically playing
the same character.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that same argument applies for Denzel in the Equalizer films, of which I'm just remembering there was 3 of them. So I see what he's saying there, but I don't agree with him about Training Day. I'm with you on Training Day.
Okay.
Now, to his other point about looking at Antoine Fuqua's filmography, though, outside of Denzel.
Mm-hmm.
So he did The Replacement Killers. That was his first film. Then he does Bait, Training Day, Tears of the Sun, King Arthur, Shooter, Brooklyn's Finest. I mean, I think the argument could be made that he's not a whitewashed director.
Mm-hmm.
He's a director. He's a working director.
He's just a working director.
He's a working director.
Yeah.
He's got a certain bit of a style. I wouldn't necessarily call him an auteur. We got into that argument.
It's so funny. I was like, can you watch a film and say, "Oh, well, this is Antoine Fuqua"?
Yeah,
and I don't know if I could.
I don't think I could either.
Yeah.
But you know, he's a working director.
Yeah.
And God bless him.
Hey.
Now, does he prove the argument that you can be a black director on a film and it not be a black film? I think he maybe does prove that argument.
Yeah. See, I'm always going to. I think why I always hesitate to go along with this line of reasoning is because implicit in this is that white is the default. Like, in my mind, these are white movies, these are black movies. Like, every movie is racialized. Like, I don't think a movie is like, it's either a black movie or it's a movie. And I'm uncomfortable with that sort of rhetorical construction. Because now you have, again, whiteness is the default.
But is the default whiteness, or is the default just it's a movie?
I don't see. That's what I reject. Like, I don't think anything is just a anything. Like, I think everything reflects the creator, but we are trained to see whiteness as the default. So whenever we say something is just a something, what we're really saying is that it's white, but we never use the word white. Like, we say it's a gay movie, it's a Jewish movie, it's a black movie, it's an Asian movie. Oh, well, this one is just a movie. But then the just a movie is a white movie, but we just never say white. Like, what's a white movie then?
What's that stupid movie? The Julia Roberts movie that I don't like.
You're gonna have to narrow it down a bit.
I know the one with her and Richard Gere, the one that put her on the map.
Yes, Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman. When's the last time you ever heard someone call that a white movie?
I don't know.
But that's
I don't know. I don't.
To be clear, I agree with you. It's a very white movie.
Yeah.
But no one would ever call it a white movie. It's sort of, we've kind of talked about, but like the racial dynamic in we actually talked about it because people talked about, for a moment, the like Hollywood legend was that Denzel Washington was up for the role,
Yeah.
which I said is absolutely ridiculous, and I don't believe that at all.
Not at all.
Because these two characters have to be white.
Yes. In order
So
for that.
to be clear, I agree with you that Pretty Woman is a white movie. What I am saying is I will give you $1 American if you can find it written anywhere since that film came out that this is a white movie. We just call it a movie. Like, oh, it's a romance. Oh, it's this great love story. Oh, it's this star-making vehicle. But this is clearly some white shit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We
Okay, all right, go ahead.
no, because we're
Look,
I'm reading your brother's email.
Look.
This is what your brother brought.
Look, try sharing a room with him. Our beds were like right next to each other. Like his were like the room was like a rectangle and our beds were so his were right next to each other. And then his dresser was across from mine. He had a poster of Big Daddy Kane.
I'm going to finish his email.
Okay. Oh my God, it's more?
Yes. P.S.
I'll be right back, y'all. I'm here.
What the hell just happened?
I'm here. I'm listening. I'm listening. Is this okay? Is this breaks protocol?
No.
Do what you have to do, Steve.
Go.
Go do what you got to do, Steve. Go ahead.
I am right here.
Go ahead.
I can hear y'all.
Go ahead.
What's the PS?
Y'all like your feelings are hurt.
No, not at all. I'm
Landlord's
going to
hurt.
talk. I'm going to talk to Vince now.
That's right. That's right. We'll talk amongst ourselves. Carry on.
Carry on.
Steven.
Carry on.
I'm still here.
What's going on with your boy?
Let's continue with your brother first.
Yes.
P.S. Sad that we lost another musical icon with the passing of Sly Stone. Sly and the Family Stone's Stand album has the distinction of being one of the first albums buried in my parents' collection that I discovered on my own. One day, digging through records, my brother, I think you may know him, and I put on that album. It was early in the years of us discovering exactly what beat digging was. That album was full of samples, specifically a Jungle Brothers one that blew my mind at the time. But more importantly, it introduced me to a great artist and lots of great music. Major loss. What are some of the artists you guys discovered in your parents' collections? Vincent, what are some of the albums that you discovered?
We literally have the same parents. What are you talking about? What are you talking about right now? What is your problem? What do you mean in my parents' collection? It was the same collection. What is happening, Lynn?
I don't know.
Steve is back and forth.
We got guests going in and
My
out of
brother is
camera.
acting like we got two different...
Brother's acting like he was adopted. Like, I don't know.
Does he think it was a separate collection that I was in?
I can take a shot at that. He said, what was the question again? What's the what album?
Yeah.
I thought you were listening. What album did you discover in your parents' collection?
Oh, it was the Funkadelics. Funkadelics. Some Michael Jackson stuff, old albums, Michael Jackson's.
Yeah. Now, okay. Was it old Michael Jackson? Was it old Jacksons? Or was it old Jackson 5?
All of them. No, not Jackson, because I got the Jackson myself. The first album by themselves. It's just just without Michael. But I had Jackson 5. Remember, they had Jackson 5. They had Michael Jackson with the playing the guitar with the green background, I think, and him behind some flowers or plants.
Yeah.
Which album is that?
It's actually called Michael.
Oh, that's a younger.
Yeah,
Michael.
yeah,
Younger
yeah.
Michael. Yes.
Yeah. So those albums stick out right now. Those albums stick out.
Okay. All right.
People All Stars. Oh yeah, and the one with the artist on there. That did the album cover with Sir Nose Devoid of Funk.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Parliament.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't discover those in my parents' collection. My brother bought Parliament Funkadelic, and I remember him bringing it home and sitting it like in the living room, and I'm looking at this album cover, and it's like, because it's like comic book art on there. So I'm like, oh my God, this is comic book art. And then I opened it up.
And then you closed it back. That's why you don't read horror comics right now.
Oh, no, I didn't close it back.
Oh.
Do you not remember what was inside?
Yes. Right.
I was a man that day.
Yeah.
That was with a whole bunch of stuff in the middle. I mean, inside. But
yes, it was a whole lot of things.
I think I remember that one too.
Inside.
I think I had that one. I think I saw that one too.
Yes.
Back when there was not only albums, but albums opened up, because there was 2 albums, and you see.
Yeah, man. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
But I would think that the artists that I discovered I didn't do a lot of digging in my parents' album collection, because I have an older sister that is 14 years older than me. So I was listening to her she was the music of my childhood, listening to the Temptations, Earth, Wind and Fire. She was listening to Jackson 5, things of that nature. But when my mom would play albums like on Sundays before my sister Adrian woke up, she would play Nancy Wilson, Dinah Washington, and Ray Charles.
Okay.
So that's when I grew an appreciation for those 3 voices.
Okay.
And they stayed with me.
All right.
My dad wasn't a big record player, like a music guy, but those were the ones that I would see my mom pull the albums out, and I saw Nancy Wilson. I was like, oh, she's a pretty lady. And I was like, oh, that's the pretty lady you're playing, So, yeah. So that's why I discovered.
I'll just say my copy of Bitches Brew came from my parents' collection, because I 100% guarantee, because it was pristine when I pulled it out. My father listened to Bitches Brew one time, and he said, yeah, I'm not listening to this. And then he closed. He said, this ain't Miles Davis at all. And then he put it back.
Because Miles was
right. It was electric, and my dad didn't really go in for all that. So like, I had a pristine copy of Bitches Brew that I pulled out.
I'm curious, is that the one you still own?
Absolutely.
That's what's up.
I mean, one of them, like, I got Bitches Brew like 3 different times and 3 different formats.
Oh, you're the format guy. Like,
yeah. But yeah, I do.
All right.
All
good.
right.
Well, Damon, thank you.
Thank you, Damon.
Thank you for your email. We appreciate you. All right. And that has been our message from the Missionaries. If you want to hit us up, you can send us an email at micheauxmission@gmail.com. That's MICHEAUX MISSION@gmail.com. And now it is time for the Game of Kings.
Game of Kings.
Otherwise known as 6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin. 6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin, where I give Vincent 2 actors, and he has 6 movies or less to connect them to the man who pops in any record collection.
Absolutely.
D'Urville Martin. And he has Stephen Harris, that venerable comic book artist who will be at the Schaumburg Black Comic Book Festival this weekend in New York City. He is here on the show and on camera right now as your lifeline.
Where is that again?
Where the Schaumburg?
Say it again.
Schaumburg.
No, this one S. Schaumburg.
Schaumburg.
Yeah.
Schaumburg.
Black people put an S on everything.
Yeah.
Not at the end, not in the middle.
At the Schaumburg Center, the Black Comic Book Festival in New York City. Go there and give an S to N. Stephen Harris.
Oh, hey, Len, I'm looking out for you, man. I don't want you to get those letters, man.
Each one teach one.
Thank you, my good.
Welcome.
All right.
And you will be Vincent's lifeline for tonight's D'Urville Martin.
What? Vince's gonna die.
Hey. We'll be fine. One band, one sound.
If you need to depend on me for this, you go.
All right, keeping it in theme.
Okay.
We're going to be reviewing Dope tonight.
Yes.
From 2015. Dope which is a slang word for drugs.
Yes, yes, which we all say no to.
Yes. So Vincent.
Yes.
Shout out to Nancy Reagan.
Connect D'Urville Martin to these two actors.
Okay.
Who have been featured in other films
about drugs
that have titles, pseudonyms for drugs.
Okay. All right.
All right.
All right.
Starting with our first actor in 6 films or less, connect D'Urville Martin to Bobcat Goldthwait.
Oh, what was he in about drugs?
Well, it wasn't about drugs, but it was in a film that had a title that had a name that could be used as a pseudonym for drugs.
Okay. You're not going to tell me?
Well, that will be giving you one of his films.
Okay, all right. I mean, I only know him in one movie. Only like the bad thing is every time I see Bobcat Goldthwait, Bill Murray is yelling at him and firing him in Scrooged. Like that's the only thing I really so D'Urville Martin is of course in Dolomite with Rudy Ray Moore. Rudy Ray Moore is in Penitentiary 2 with Ernie Hudson. And then Ernie Hudson is, of course, in Ghostbusters with Bill Murray, who, as I just mentioned, yells and fires Bobcat Goldthwait in my favorite version of The Christmas Carol, the film Scrooged.
That is very good. Very good. And Bobcat Goldthwait is also one of the featured actors in the 2001 film Blow.
Oh, okay. That's Johnny Depp?
Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that film?
I was just about to say, I remember watching Blow. I think, liking Blow. I don't remember one thing about Blow.
I watched Blow. I love Blow.
Yeah.
But as I have discovered, I have a thing for daddy-daughter movies, and this is a daddy-daughter movie.
Sure.
But it's a very good film.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
very good, Vincent.
All right.
Next up.
Okay.
In 6 films or less.
Okay.
Connect D'Urville Martin to Amy Smart. Are you familiar with Amy Smart?
Oh, that's a really good one. Because I actually can't see Amy Smart. All I see is Amy Adams.
There's Amy Smart.
Yeah, that means absolutely nothing to me.
Yes,
that
is
is
enough.
Like she looks
blonde hair.
She looks like
woman.
a model in the Banana Republic catalog.
Okay, let me tell you the most recent film.
Well, wait a second. Let me just so she's in a drug movie.
She is in a drug. This actually is a drug movie, but the title of it is a slang word for drugs.
Is it a movie called Horse?
No.
Is it a movie called? Well, you said she's not she's not in The Rock.
No.
Is it a movie called Weed?
No.
Is it a movie called Ecstasy?
No.
Yeah. I have no.
Even if you named the movie, you probably wouldn't know.
Right.
Who else is in the movie?
I don't like Amy Smart is a name I know, but I don't know what she's in at all.
Okay.
What's the movie she's in with the drug name?
In 2006, she starred in Crank.
Crank. Is that Jason Statham?
Yes.
Is he in that?
Yes.
Okay. Can I work? I feel like I can. Oh yeah. I can work with Jason Statham. Okay. This is what we gonna do with Jason Statham. So she's in Crank with Jason Statham, but then Jason Statham is in what I want to do with him. He is in. Okay, Jason Statham is in Hobbs and Shaw with Idris Elba. Idris Elba is in American Gangster with Denzel Washington, who's in Mo Better Blues with Dick Anthony Williams, who of course is the young hip barber in Five on the Black Hand Side, which also stars one Derville Martin.
Very good.
All right.
Could have got there a little quicker because when you got to Mo Better Blues, you could have went to Wesley Snipes.
Okay.
And Wesley Snipes was in the Expendables.
Oh, the Expendables. Yeah. Okay.
Jason Statham.
Yeah.
So, but very good.
Okay.
And you didn't even need your lifeline.
I didn't need my life. Well, he
was sitting there ready.
He was sitting there. I know he was.
I was saying sweating bullets.
Coiled.
If you needed me, you would have died. Absolutely died.
Well, I'm glad I didn't need you then.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, from my head, yeah, and in my heart, I'm glad you didn't need me.
All right, that has been 6 Degrees of Derville Martin. It is now time for our review of Dope, a 2015 American coming-of-age comedy drama film. Dope was written and directed by Rick Famuyiwa and produced by Forrest Whitaker. Mm-hmm. It stars Shameik Moore, Tony Revolori, Kiersey Clemens, Kimberly Elise, Chanel Iman, Tigga, Blake Anderson, Zoe Kravitz, and A$AP Rocky in a coming-of-age film about one young man's struggle with life, love, and drugs. And their obsession with 90s hip-hop. Mm-hmm. In this film that we actually did review very early in the mission, like in our first 10 episodes.
Yeah, I know.
But this is the first time on YouTube and the first time with our good friend N. Stephen Harris, who suggested this film for us to review. Steve, what have you to say of Dope?
I forgot to watch it. No, I was joking.
Cracked him up.
I see.
Okay. No, I thought it was a wholesome movie about a young man growing up. I mean, his friends were cool. He kind of was me, but not. I didn't grow up in a black neighborhood though.
Oh, okay, okay.
I was into comics, but I was into comics. I was in the martial arts movie. Everyone's in the martial arts movies though, but at the time. Mm-hmm. But I like the dynamic in that movie with him, his friends, him navigating through that area of drugs, of the cool kids, and dealing with that and how to work his way out of it. Like this thing with the principal. I mean, that guy, it was like that guy right there stuck out to me because it's like at one point he's like, "Yo, you could do better," but then on the other hand, he's like, "You think you're getting Harvard coming from here?" I'm like, "What kind of message is that to the kid?"
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, I like the movie was doing. It had overall, it had different types of blackness in there, and it showed different types of blackness from him. And he was cool with these other kids, and the girl was lesbian, and they were all cool, and just it showed how there's different ways blackness can be expressed, and what's the word I'm looking for? Not materialized, but manifested.
Oh yeah,
No, but yeah, I mean, it was a great. I liked the movie a lot.
Oh yeah,
I love the hip hop movies. The music references I really like too.
Oh, the needle drops are insane. Mm-hmm. The needle drops are absolutely insane in this film. It's a coming of age film, but sometimes coming of age films can come across as trying to like paint this false image of teenage, growing up. And there certainly is a stylized vision that's being put forth here, with these kids being 90 geeks, the needle drops, there's, like it famously say in movies like this, they get caught out at this party, which gets raided by street gangs, and then hilarity ensues.
Yeah,
right.
But they fall in the trap of being really tropey, and this didn't be. I mean, it came close to being tropey, but not quite.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. It worked within the reality of the world in which it was set. Right. In this neighborhood in Inglewood, California. All of the trappings of that neighborhood were right there, authentically represented. But as you are still living your life, you live your life.
Yeah.
And things happen, and you find your way through it, through your own perseverance, through humor, through the community of your friends as well. And with that, there is still poignant moments in this film. There are hilarious moments in this film. I think that the message of the film is it's not a wholesome film. Use the word wholesome. It's not a wholesome film at all.
Oh,
but it's real. It's authentic. Even in its sending up of some of the tropes get heightened a little bit, but it still feels real. And the acting in this film is like amazing. Not being a big purveyor of follower of hip hop of the last 10, 15 years, I've known the name of A$AP Rocky, but I can't say I know of any song of his.
Yeah.
So this really was my introduction to the man. He's a pretty good actor. He's a pretty good actor. He's solid. I believed everything coming out of his mouth. And Shameik Moore, Kiersey Clemons, Tony Revolori, they could have taken those three of them and put them in a TV series, and I would have been there for every single episode of the series. Rick Famuyiwa, his direction, the script is sharp, it's pointed, and it has a point of view that is trying to get across. It has a story that it wants to tell. It has a lesson that it wants to impart, but it doesn't want to hit you over the head with it at all. It never talks down to your intelligence. These are things that we said the first time we reviewed this film. And I will say, I said, like, I have the virtual receipts about how much I love this film. This is one of 4 films that I own digitally.
Okay.
I bought it digitally. I said, I want to own this film because it is that dope.
Yeah. As you mentioned, we reviewed this early, and I was listened to our review, and I think it is fascinating how well this film has aged. Like, I'll start with the cast, as you said. This cast, if I had anything that I admired the most about this film, it is the eye of the casting director. Shameik Moore, obviously, his star has risen so much since we reviewed it the first time. Kiersey Clemons is amazing. You mentioned Tony Revolori, who's had a great career. This is my least favorite performance by Zoe Kravitz. Zoe Kravitz leaves me cold in this film, but in the almost 10 years since we talked about it,
how she has grown.
You mentioned Joey Badass, and we said this when we reviewed it. Not Joey Badass, A$AP Rocky. Like, I wish A$AP Rocky would have acted more. I know he's about to star in Spike Lee's new film with Denzel Washington. And I guess having babies with Rihanna and being a billionaire is good work if you can get it. But
I got it.
But he really does have this wonderful presence. I loved Quincy Brown in this film, and I wish he had done more acting. But as you said, this cast is great. I'm actually
You
also.
didn't even touch on your man.
Oh, well, you know, Roger Gouverneur Smith.
There you go.
Roger Gouverneur Smith can do no wrong.
There you go.
And you know, any film that kind of has him, which kind of speaks to the part that I remain, I won't say skeptical, but this is the part that gives me pause. You know, the whole part of the film with the drug plot, I honestly feel like the cast is so strong. Mm-hmm. The sense of place is so strong. Mm-hmm. I almost didn't need that. Like, I understand as the plot engine and everything, but I just love these characters. I love this environment. I love just the coming of age aspect of it. That when it came time for we got to get rid of the drugs, there was a part of me that was like, oh, I kind of enjoyed the rest of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I will say, I think one of the more fascinating things to Stephen's point about this depiction of these different types of blackness, I think one of the great things that has happened in the past decade, or in the case of, you know, since this film was made, is the mainstreaming of blurred culture, the mainstreaming of different, like this character, Malcolm, I think, would have a much smoother time.
Oh, yeah.
Finding his tribe in 2025, which in a lot of ways, it kind of lends this film this prescience. Like, you know, this is what is to come. But to be fair, but those are very nitpicky things. Right. Like the two of you, I really love this film.
Right. But to be fair, he did find his tribe, because he had his two friends.
No.
But his tribe would be so much bigger.
Right, exactly.
It would be bigger because, you know, one of the things that this film points out, you know, like, you know, what makes them a geek is because they ride skateboards. They love manga comics. Mm-hmm. You know, manga comics weren't so much like everywhere.
Right.
At that moment in 2015, you know, they were still there, but you still had to kind of like find them.
Right.
You know, but now manga is like, that's what sells.
Right.
You know, anime is everywhere.
Look, we said it at the time, that wonderful exchange where the bully talks about his Jordans and says, "Oh, you got threes." And I just think the overlap between, as appropriately enough, as Tribbles, and you say it in the review, like, everybody is a nerd.
Yep.
It's just, what is your nerddom?
Yeah.
And I think the overlap and the bleed through has expanded so much since 2015.
There you go.
That, you know, but yeah, Dope is fantastic.
It is.
Yeah, Dope is fantastic.
They crossed. I mean, like I said, their nerddom crossed over within themselves, because they like 90s hip hop, blurred them, quote unquote white band music.
Yeah.
And it was a drug dealing, but that's something else.
You know, Vince Staples shows up. You blink and you miss him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this cast is ridiculous.
Who shows up? Oh, Vince Staples. Yeah, right. I didn't know that. Yeah, Vince
right.
Staples.
He's one of Dom's crew.
And I forgot that Lakeith Stanfield was in the movie.
Lakeith Stanfield, right?
I forgot he was in the film.
I got Lakeith Stanfield, but it was Keith Stansfield.
Right.
He was the love wasn't there that time in this movie, in the casting, in the casting name.
Okay, thank you. I did not know that.
And that's yeah.
Look at doing some research. Thank you.
There you go.
You're like, my job is done. I've done what I came to do.
Yeah, I was looking at the cast. Keith, I said, oh, I guess as he got comfortable, this is my speculation. As he got comfortable, his name got bigger. He said, "Yo, I'm going with my original name, Lakeith. If that's his original name, Lakeith."
Which probably is.
Maybe someone told Lakeith was too black and it's too Keith.
It probably is. Yeah, most certainly. The one thing I didn't remember about this film, watching it again, and I'm glad they lose it. Forrest Whitaker is the narrator in the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
And he narrates for a little bit and then he's gone.
Yeah.
You know, right? And I'm glad that he is gone. To be fair, he's not there long, so I didn't even like miss him. I
Right,
think it's
right.
only because I noticed, like now I'm noticing like his name's in the credit and he's the narrator. Oh, I hear that is Forrest Whitaker. Yeah, I haven't heard Forrest Whitaker in a minute.
Right, right. And like you said, when you think about the film, you forget that he was there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You totally forget him. And to your point about the whole drug angle of this thing, that more or less is just like the MacGuffin of the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the plot engine. But I think the movie itself gets a little bit lost in the camaraderie and the friendship and the laissez-faire, the nature of the plot, because I also think that you lose a little bit of, there's like this hint of a romance between Malcolm and Nakia, I think is Zoe Kravitz's character. There's a hint of a romance there that kind of gets lost as well.
But see, I think that's because Zoe Kravitz is not that strong of an actress. Like, that's actually what I'm talking about. Like she was very much giving off, oh, let me try my hand at acting.
Did she? Maybe. She definitely is not as strong as everybody else here. But I felt that she was supposed to be giving like this presence, almost as if she's like supposed to be what we all collectively see her mother, Lisa Bonet,
Right.
as, like this.
But you gotta have that like
So she didn't.
Right.
Maybe. I didn't.
Because I actually 100% agree with you, and I think when you look at that early part of Zoe Kravitz's career, I think that's 100% what she was going for. But I maintain she never had that Lisa Bonet pop.
Fair.
Intrinsically, which then she kind of grew into actually acting.
Yes.
And certainly for the past 5-6 years, every time I see Zoe Kravitz now, I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah. We're giving props to everyone that acted in this film. I don't know if we did it on the original review, but I definitely want to give some props to Chanel Iman, who plays the Lily character.
Yeah.
Who is legitimately funny in this film.
Yeah.
And,
That's
what'd you say?
Scene. That's a whole wild. Yeah, she is. She's a great.
She's wild. She's wild. And for this to be her acting debut,
Yeah.
really, she's a model, which you can see, and you can see a beautiful model, beautiful woman. But for this to be her acting debut, to go full blown into basically playing with whatever the image of you as a model is, and then leaning into hilarious physical comedy, like she does, that is a high bar, and I think she sticks the landing.
Look, I think it kind of, maybe it goes without saying, but it's worth actually saying it. This is a primarily young cast.
Yes.
And as you just said, a lot of these actors, this is very early in their careers. It is really a testament to the direction of the film that these performances were drawn out. So, the Lily character, you're talking about the Lily character, again, character to character to character. I mean, Shameik Moore is I don't think he has worked that much by this point.
No.
Like, he's a working actor, and then, we named them off. Kiersey Lemons, Aesop Rocky, Quincy Brown, Tony Rivera. Like, they're all really young actors, and they all give really good performances.
Yes, they do. So
yeah, that part. Now, with the dynamic between Shameik Moore's character and Zoe, is just that dynamic, and within the movie's context, I just can relate to that a few times in my high school comings up, and my first 2 years of college too, of having a girl interested in me, but she has a boyfriend or someone she's seeing, but she's going to hang out with me, but just to keep me around, like just in case, break.
Yeah, you're to break glass.
Right.
Yeah,
You're coming off the bench.
Yeah. So I kind of relate to that, in my young, when I was younger, either high school and my first couple years of college.
Because his second couple of years of college,
Yeah,
he had figured it out.
he figured that out. Shoot.
Listen, I had flashes of brilliance before that too, but it wasn't consistent.
That's when she became my break glass.
We also mentioned as comic book geeks that this is part of the Femiua of the Femiua universe.
Yes,
because this crosses over with his other great film, The Wood, where the character who plays the security guard was the older brother in The Wood.
Yeah.
I think I did see that, but it was a while ago, so I'm not. I definitely, if I saw, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
When did Wood come out? Early 2000s.
Another fantastic coming of age film.
Right, that's Stacy, the school security guard, reprising his character from The Wood, played by DeAndre Bonds.
Yeah, DeAndre Bonds.
That's another person we would have loved to see more of.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like these two films. He's
Get on a Bus.
He's in Get on the Bus. He's in Tales from the Hood.
Mm-hmm.
What character is he from Get on the Bus?
He's the son. He's the son who's in handcuffs.
Oh wow! Okay, I see. I can see it. I see it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, would have loved to see him. See, that would have been fun if he was that character. And then, because that's in my head canon,
right?
He's that character,
right? Because he's shaking when the devil gets him.
That's where he is in my head.
He had a permanent scowl in Get on the Bus.
Oh yes, he did. Yes, he did.
In his defense,
because I'm smooth.
He was in handcuffs.
Would you call me smooth?
And he was in handcuffs because his father put him in handcuffs, right?
His father, because he was on probation,
and that was part of the deal that he had.
That was part of. I thought his father added that to that part. But okay,
no, it's part of the deal so that he could get on the bus. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, Steve, would you recommend that people see Dope?
Absolutely. Please go see it.
What about you, Vincent?
I would. I think it's a wonderful coming of age movie. Mm-hmm. I think it's funny. The past couple of weeks, you and I have been talking. It's been all the rage, the Netflix series Forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is very much one of the spiritual forefathers of this depiction of Black teenagers kind of moving through life. Like I said, it's a murderer's row of actors who went on to do other things. And it is always a delight to see my beloved Roger Gouverneur Smith in a meaty role.
I know.
So yeah, absolutely, yeah. Been a fan.
And your beloved Kimberly Elise.
And my beloved, not enough Kimberly Elise.
I know.
Not enough Kimberly Elise.
She was his mother, right?
Yeah. You mostly see her on the bus. Working.
I know.
But yeah.
And he put his mom in danger, man.
Look.
By putting the phone on the bus.
Yeah,
that's real talk.
Yeah.
That is real.
And shout out to was it the Diddy character for slapping the white guy every time he said the N-word.
Yes.
And
would you recommend it?
I would definitely recommend Dope. I would. It's funny you talk about how this is Forever is kind of like, this is like
like an antecedent
to that. Having just watched Just One of Those Days, the Keke Palmer and SZA film, and a lot of people talking about how that film had a lot of the vibe of like Friday in it. I actually think there's more of Friday here in Dope. When I was watching this, and it's a far superior film,
sure,
than Just One of Those Days. But yes, I would definitely recommend seeing Dope. If for no other reason, like you said, it's a murderer's row of actors. It's funny. It's a coming of age story, and like you pointed out, it ages so well. It's 2015, and you know it's regarded as one of the first films to kind of like give any type of true credence to the whole idea of bitcoins and cryptocurrency and everything like that. And I think having these kids ride around in bikes and loving 90s hip hop kind of, you know, grounds it so that it doesn't feel like it's set in 2015. It feels a little bit timeless because of that. Yeah.
Look, I think
Good time.
I think it's fair to say the biggest role Shameik Moore has had in his career is now the iconic Miles Morales.
Yes.
But the spirit of Miles Morales is
right here.
very much in this film.
Is right. Yeah. The spirit of those films is actually just in a way of the cutting and everything is beautiful. So yes.
And the girl that played Diggy, she was also in that Monarch series, Legacy of Monsterverse.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
Yes, she is. Kiersey Clemens. We are fans of her. Here. We just reviewed The Young Wife with her. So we are Kiersey Clemens here on fans on the Micheaux Mission. And she is in Monarch, doing great work in Monarch as well.
And one negative thing.
Uh-oh.
I think he is credited. I think as a co-producer is Sean Combs.
See, we were almost out. We were gone. We were done.
Look, as long as he wasn't on set with no baby oil talking about I need some of the actors to meet me in my trailer, we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
All right.
I'm sorry.
No, it's no problem.
It's okay. It's okay.
Problem.
I don't think it's okay. You guys don't have that it's okay look on your faces.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It is fine.
We're not mad. We're just disappointed.
Yes. That's all. That's all.
I'm so sorry.
What'd you say the name of that class you're going to is? Read the Room? Yes. Hope you do well in that.
I'm not in the room. I'm not in the room though, but okay.
All right. That has been N. Stephen Harris.
Yes.
He is sincerely a great friend of ours. If people want to get in touch with you, if they want to check out your work, where can they do that?
You can hit me up on Instagram at N. Stephen Harris, Blue Sky at N. Stephen Harris, at N. Stephen Harris, Facebook at N. Stephen Harris, LinkedIn at N. Stephen Harris, and my website at www.nstephenworks.com.
Very nice.
Very nice. Thank you so much for
that. Thank you, sir.
Really appreciate you.
Thank you guys for having me.
Anytime. And before we tell you what we're going to be reviewing next week here on the Micheaux Mission, I invite each and every one of you to share your thoughts, your concerns for all of us. Email us at micheauxmission@gmail.com. That's MICHEAUX MISSION@gmail.com. You can always find us on social media at Instagram or on Facebook at Micheaux Mission. You can find us on YouTube at Micheaux Mission, where you can subscribe, hit the bell, and be notified of when we go live every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern from Young Chunk, Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace. If you want to book yourself in one of these fabulous studios, hit up our friend Dylan at youngjunk.com. That's DYLAN at youngjunk.com. The Micheaux Mission is available as a podcast wherever you find podcasts, such as Apple, Spotify. Wherever there's podcasts, there's the Micheaux Mission, which is a proud member of The Podglomerate. ThePodglomerate.com. They make podcasts work, such as ours, which will be coming to you next week with a very special Black Music Month edition of the Micheaux Mission, as Vincent and I will sit down and contrast and compare two competing projects about the same music artists. We will be contrasting and comparing 2021's Respect, starring Jennifer Hudson, versus
and Marlon Wayans
versus Nat Geo's Genius Aretha, starring Cynthia Erivo. next week here on the Micheaux Mission. Until then, he's Steve, that's Vincent, I'm Len, and in parting we say,
we'll see you when it's time to meet again.